This is your general science class and today we will learn lesson 6, solids, liquids and gases. Solids, liquids and gases. So key concepts of the lesson is solids, liquids, separation of liquids from solids, gases, composition of gases in air, land and sea breezes, monsoon breezes and ventilators. So today we will cover some portion of the lesson. Today we are going to cover the topics solids, liquids, separation of liquids from solids. That's all. And remaining we will study in next class. So let's start our lesson. Matter. What do you know about matter, children? Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So, all things around us are made up of matter. All things around us are made up of matter. Like we eat water, we eat food, water, air, books, pencils, and so on. So, the food we are putting that food on the plate or anything, so that also occupies space. Water, it also occupies space. The container where you are filling the water, that occupies space. Air also occupies space. Books, pencils and so on. So everything takes some place, some space. So that is matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So, what do you understand by mass? The amount of matter present a thing makes up its mass. The amount of matter present in a thing makes up its mass. However, small a thing may be, it will always have some mass. Even a small thing is there, but it has some mass. Similarly, all things take up some space. For example, a log of wood occupies space covered by its size. As I have told, that water container is also taking some space. So taking, that is occupying space. So everything occupies some space. The amount of space covered by a thing is called its volume. So the amount of space covered by a thing is called its volume. Okay. However, a smaller thing maybe it will always occupy some space. Even a small thing is there, but it occupies some space. So we can say that matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. Matter is made up of very tiny particles called molecules. Matter is made up of very tiny small particles, and that particles are called molecules. These molecules cannot be seen without the help of very powerful microscope. So all the things around us, that is matter. We have learned now all the things around us is made up of matter. So that is matter. But the matter is occupies space, that also we have learned. But matter is made up of very tiny particles. So the things which is around us is made up of very small particles, and that can be seen by with the help of microscope. So molecules we can see with the help of microscope. A tiny grain of sand can contain millions of molecules. A tiny small grain of sand can contain millions of molecules. It has many molecules. Now mass. Now only I have told the amount of matter present in a thing make up its mass. The amount of matter, quantity of matter present in a thing make up its mass. Volume, the amount of space covered by a thing is called its volume. Space, the space covered by the thing is volume. Okay, listen carefully. The space covered by a thing is the volume, but the amount of matter is present in a thing make up mass. Amount of matter is present in a thing is makes a mass, and the amount of space covered by a thing is called its volume. So you should understand what is mass and what is volume. Now next, intermolecular space. Intermolecular space. What do you understand by the word intermolecular space? Neighboring molecules usually have space between them. Neighboring molecules, here one diagram is also there. So there you can see that solid is there, very small it is, but solid, liquid, gas, everything is there. So all these solid, liquid, gas, that are the matters, and all have some molecules. But neighboring molecules usually have space. Neighboring molecules, those are neighbor, those are close to each other, they have space. This space is called intermolecular space. Molecules attract nearby molecules with the force. Molecules attract nearby molecules with the force called, that force is called intermolecular force of attraction. So molecules attract nearby molecules with the force, and that force is called intermolecular force of attractions. Molecules that attract each other strongly lie close together. Molecules that have a weak attraction lie far apart. So molecules that attract each other more strongly. The molecules, those are attracting each other strongly, they are close. But some molecules are not that. Some molecules are weak. So they are far apart. They are far from that molecules. Now next is states of matter. States of matter. Matter exists in three different states in nature. So that states are solids, liquids, or gases. Matter exists in three different states. So that states are solid, liquid, or gases. Solids. The molecules in solids attract each other very strongly. You can see in diagrams that all the molecules are very close to each other. All the molecules are very close to each other. Because these molecules are very close to each other, that's why it is solid. The molecules in solid attract each other very strongly. They are tightly packed, they are very tight, they are strong. There are very little movement of molecules, there are less movement of molecules. They only vibrate about their position, they just vibrate on their position. They doesn't have capacity to move more. Okay, so they have very less movement. The tight arrangement of molecules gives solids a definite shape and volume. Because of that tight arrangement of molecules, you can see the table in your room. So what wooden table is there, no? So they have very tight molecules, that's why they are solid, and it has definite shape. So it has definite shape because of the stronger these molecules, because of the strong arrangement of molecules. Solids are rigid and do not flow. So solids are rigid, they do not flow like water. Solids cannot flow like water. So this is about solids. Now next is liquids. The molecules in liquids do not attract each other as strongly as the molecules in solid. So we are comparing here from the solids. So if you compare solids and liquid, the molecules in liquids do not attract each other as strongly as molecules in solid. Okay, they are loosely packed. They are loosely packed. Solids molecule are tightly packed. Okay, that's why it is solid. But liquids molecules are loosely packed. The space between their molecules is more than that in solids. This allows some movements of molecules because of the space in that. That's why there are some movements in molecules. How movements? Like you are pouring water in another container, that is the movement. Okay, can you pour the table in something? No, because there is no movement, that is solid. The molecules are tightly packed. So solid as liquid has, they allow some movements. Liquid allows some movements. They can flow because of movement of molecules. They can flow like river is flowing. Okay, so because of the movement of molecules. Liquid do not have definite shape. Liquid do not have definite shape. If you will pour water in another container, it will get the shape of container. Liquid have fixed volume. Liquid also have fixed volume. Now next we will study about separating liquids from solids. Separating liquids from solid. Solids such as sugar and salt are soluble in water. You know, if you put salt and sugar in water, it dissolves. It is soluble. Solids such as sand and wood are insoluble in water. But if you put sand and wood in water, will it dissolve? No, it will not dissolve. So that is insoluble. The things which are not dissolved in water, that is insoluble. Okay, and which dissolves in water is soluble. Okay, you can try it. Put sugar in water, then sugar will mix with that water. So that is soluble. But if you will put wood in water, it will not mix. So that is insoluble. A soluble solid sugar is called a solute. A soluble solid sugar is called a solute. Okay, the liquid in which a solute dissolves is called solvent. So a soluble solid which dissolves, that is said to be solute. It is said to be solute. The liquid in which a solute dissolves is called solvent. So sugar is solute and water is solvent if you are putting sugar in water. We call the mixture a solution, that is solution. So here it is written, look at solute. Solute means sugar plus solvent, as I have told, that is water, that's equals to solution, that is the sweetened water. What you will get? Sweetened water. Solute sugar plus solvent water equal to solution. Separating insoluble solids from water. So how can you separate insoluble solids? What are insoluble solids, children? Now only I have told. Do you remember? Insoluble solids are like sand or wood. Okay. So how will you separate insoluble solids from water? We can separate insoluble solids from water by sedimentation and decantation or filtration. What is sedimentation and decantation? Insoluble impurities are allowed to settle down at the bottom of a container. Sedimentation is insoluble impurities, that impurities which is not soluble are allowed to settle down at the bottom of a container. Container means anything in which you have put the water, like a glass or any jar. So there if you have put the water, so what happened that impurities settle down. Impurities settle down. This process is called sedimentation. You can see here the activities also given. The impurities that settle down at the bottom are called sediments, and the impurities which are settled down, like you have put sand in the water. So what is the impurities? Sand is the impurities which will settle down, and that is called sediments. The top layer of clean water is gently poured into another container without disturbing the sediments. This process is called decantation. You can look in your book also, activity is given. So what happened? That top layer of clean water is gently poured into another container. So you have to pour the top layer of water in another container or another glass or jar. So what will happen? This without disturbing, you should not disturb the other container. Okay, and what you will get, that the sand will be separated with that water. So this process is called decantation. One more activity is there. Fill half a beaker with water, mix some sand in it, leave it undisturbed for 10 minutes. The sand will settle down at the bottom of the beaker. That is given in a book. Okay, this process is called sedimentation. Separate the sand from water by pouring the clean water from top slowly into another empty beaker. Beaker here is container. This process is called decantation. So what is sedimentation? Mix some sand in it, leave it undisturbed for 10 minutes. The sand will settle down at the bottom of beaker. So the settle down, when the sand is settled down, that is sedimentation. But when you are putting that water, pouring in another container, and another empty container. This process is called decantation. Okay, when the process of that settle down of that something, no, sand or any insoluble thing in the water, that is sedimentation. But when you are pouring it in another empty container, that is decantation. Is it clear, children? Now next heading is filtration. What is filtration? The process of moving insoluble impurities from water with the help of filter is called filtration. You have to use here filter. Okay, fill half a beaker with water, mix some sand in it. Fill half a beaker with water. Take any container and fill it with water. You can do these activities at home also. Mix some sand in it. Mix some sand in that water. Tie a clean piece of cotton. You can tie, in the diagram also it is showing. So you have to tie a clean piece of cotton cloth on the mouth of another beaker where you are going to pour. The cloth acts as a filter. That cloth will act as a filter. You can use any funnel also, like tea. Your mother is making tea, no, preparing tea, and she is pouring. So what they are doing, they are separating that tea leaves from that tea. Okay, pour the water slowly on the cotton cloth. The sand gets collected on cotton cloth. So same way the tea leaves get collected on the sieve and clean water gets collected in the beaker. So that is filtration. Okay, that is called filtration. Now next is separating soluble solids from water. Separating soluble solids from water. We can separate soluble solids from water by evaporation. What now you should remember that what is soluble solids? Water soluble solids which dissolve, which dissolve in water, that are the soluble solids like sugar and salt. Sugar and salt. So that can be separated by evaporation. That can be separated by evaporation. How evaporation? Evaporation, the solution is heated till water from the solution evaporates. So you have to put that water on the fire. You have to heat it. You have to heat it. During this process, the liquid is lost to the air and the solid is left behind. So what happened? Activities there. Take some solution of common salt and water in a china dish. So you have to take some solution of common salt or sugar also you can take and put it in any dish also you can put. Heat the solution, let the water to evaporate completely. So you have to keep on heating till the water evaporates completely, till the water goes up completely. What do you observe? What do you find? Taste the white solid particles. So white solid particles you will find at the bottom. Okay, white solid particles will be left in the container. So left behind in that dish, you will find that it is nothing but salt or sugar. For both things you can do. Okay, so these all are the activities. Below that, on page 55, some fill in the blanks are given. Okay, here I have not showed, but some fill in the blanks are given. That fill in the blanks you have to do it yourself. Read the lesson 2 to 3 times and fill all the blanks. Okay, children. So here these topics are over. Remaining we will study in our next class. Thank you.